All right, brothers and sisters, family and friends. I say shalom to you all. Hope all is well. Hope you guys are holding up in the faith. Give double honor to the elders. Salutations to the brothers. Preaching and teaching the truth in sincerity. Edifying the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which is the modern day blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. And last but not least, I want to give all honor, glorification, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And so the topic of discussion on tonight would be Daniel's and the lion's den. All right. So we all know that Daniel was thrown into the pit of the lion's den. We're going to get into that story. And you can find this in the Old Testament, which is Daniel's chapter 6, beginning with verse 1. And I will read all the way down to verse 28. It's not that long. So if you want to take notes, please feel free to do so. And let's get into it. Please like, comment, share the video, and if you will, subscribe. So Daniel 6 and 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. Daniel 6 and 2. Okay, let me move the cursor on it. And over these three presidents, of whom Daniel was the first, that the princes might give account unto them, and the king shall have no damage. Daniel 6 and 3. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and the princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. So the King Darius of the Persians, he seen something in Daniel that stuck out from all other man, and he elected Daniel uh, because of the excellent spirit that Daniel had. You understand? Daniel was full of wisdom, knowledge, over inner and understanding, and so he was selected. And the king set him over the basically Babylon. See what I'm saying? At that time, during the Babylonian reign, the empire. Daniel 6 and 4. Then the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find none occasion or nor fault. So this how we supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. And we have enemies. We know we have enemies out there. And when your enemies try to come against you to bring some type of occasion, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to be found guiltless. We supposed to be found without blemish. You know what I'm saying? Oh, right, doing the right thing. We shouldn't have to, be straddling the fence. One day you're cold, one day you're hot, then one day you're warm in between. Because it's very important for you to do what's right. Because when someone try to rise up against you to bring some type of occasion against you, then if you're doing the right thing, you'll be like Daniel. You'll be found, without fault. And so that way you'll be out of harm's way. And so they tried to basically lie on Daniel. Probably tried to say all types of things about Daniel that wasn't true. But Daniel was found to not have any fault within him. You know what I'm saying? For as much he was faithful. See that? Neither was there any error or fault found in him. Because he was keeping the commandments, you know what I'm saying, doing the will of the Most High. And basically Daniel was found to be an upright guy, you know what I'm saying? So I just hope we can all be like Daniel one day, to be found without fault, you know what I'm saying, to be faithful. We pray, that we get there. It's a process, but we pray. Daniel 6 and 5. Then said these men, We shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. So you know, these Babylonian rulers, they was jealous of Daniel, and so they went to the king, which was Darius. All right, and we're gonna read about what happened. So Daniel 6:6. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to King Darius, and said thus unto him, King Darius, O hail the king, live forever. Daniel 6:7. All the presidents of the kingdom, and the governors, and the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, except O king, he shall be cast into the lion's den. So, these Babylonian rulers that was very jealous of Daniel because of King Darius finding favor in his eyes, they wanted to plot against Daniel to bring him down. So they went to King Darius and told King Darius that for 30 days, they feel as though he should be the only one worshiped. He should be the only one highly esteemed and praised for 40 days. For 30 days. And if anybody else show reverence or honor to another god, then that person should be cast into the lion's den. And this plot was against Daniel. And so Daniel 6:8. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alter it not. So this law was a Medo-Persian Empire law that was put into effect to show honor and praise to King Darius for at least 30 days. And if you didn't, and you prayed to another god, then whosoever did so, they would see to it that you would be cast into the lion's den. Well, they knew that Daniel, see, these Babylonian rulers, they knew that Daniel was very faithful and he was devoted to the God of Israel. And they knew that he was not going to stop praying and showing honor to the God of Israel. So it was all done to basically ensnare and trap Daniel. See what I'm saying? Daniel 6:9. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. So this was a new law that was basically passed throughout Babylon. That you had to show honor to the king for 30 days and no other God. Daniel 6:9. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Daniel 6:10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he knew they had made this thing to plot to take him down. So when he knew that that petition was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open, and his chamber towards Jerusalem. And he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and he prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. So pretty much Daniel 6:10 tells you that he didn't stop praising and honoring the God of Israel. And this should teach you, brothers and sisters, like no matter what new law, governmental law, is put into effect, no matter what law by a heathen king or any type of heathens that is ruling over you, no matter what law that they put into effect, you should never discredit or degrade or dishonor your God to uphold the heathen's law. And so you should always be devoted to your God, even if it means death. And that's what Daniel did. Like Daniel was like, man, I ain't listening to this bullshit. They don't sign this decree talking about we got to honor Darius for 30 days. We can't pray to our God. Fuck this decree. And so Daniel said, you know what, man? Middle fingers up. Fuck that. So what he did, he prayed to his God regardless. He didn't listen to this shit. You understand? And so this is the same spirit we must take in these days and times, man, because it's a lot of rules and regulations that's going to be put, new rules and regulations that's going to be put into effect. But we shouldn't be fearful. You understand? If we have to die honoring our God, let it be so. See what I'm saying? How you know God won't work in your favor like he did Daniel? And we're going to read about that. So he kneeled upon his knees It said 3 times a day. Now, why I said 3 times a day? Because we're supposed to pray 3 times a day. Let me give you a precept of that, because I'll go back. So I'm gonna give you a precept why Daniel did this 3 times a day, why he prayed 3 times a day. Let me show you right here. Um, I think it's like, I'm trying to find that verse. I know it's in Psalms where it speaks about praying 3 times a day. So let's get that. I don't have my precepts with me, so y'all just bear along with me. I'll find it, no problem. It's in Psalms 55 and 17, as y'all guys can see. I hope you guys can see it. Psalms 55 and 17. Let me see, can I blow that up? Y'all see that? Psalms 55 and 17. Evening and morning and at noon. That's 3 times. See what I'm saying? Will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. Who is the he? The Most High, God of Israel, Yahweh. So Psalm 55:17 tells you when to pray. You should pray evening. That's basically when the sun set. Morning, that's when you uprise. And basically noon, you know what I'm saying? That's maybe probably after 12 o'clock. See what I'm saying? And those are the 3 times that you're supposed to cry aloud to the Most High. So as Hebrews, Psalms 55:17 tells us we should be praying 3 times a day. And many of us don't do that, but we got to get it together, y'all. Hopefully we will. You know, there's a lot to learn when it comes down to this Bible, but you can see right here, that's why it tells you, you see in Daniel 6 and 10, you know, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and he prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did the 4 times. You see, and it also says right here in Daniel 6 and 10, he opened his windows up and it says in his chamber and he faced towards Jerusalem. Now, why did Daniel face towards Jerusalem? Because when you pray 3 times a day as a Hebrew Israelite, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you're supposed to face the east because that's our native land that we was taken out of for disobedience of the commandments. And so we are in the heathens land. You see what I'm saying? America is the land of bondage. And so with us being here under the jurisdiction of the heathen, we never supposed to forget, even though we in the midst of this captivity, we never supposed to forget our native land, man. We supposed to face Jerusalem in honor and pray 3 times a day. Show you another one, man. Because you know, people say, let bygones be bygones. It don't matter about Jerusalem because we're not there anymore. But it does matter, man. I'm going to show you what David said, man. Because that does matter. Never supposed to forget your native land, no matter what captivity you're in. This is what David said. This is Psalms 137, verse 5, right? So let's see that David said, don't worry about it. Just forget the native land and just honor the land of the heathens. No, man. What David said in Psalm 137, verse 5. What he said. This is Psalm 137, verse 5. He said, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. So we're not supposed to forget Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? David said, we're not supposed to forget Jerusalem. If I forget thee, he said, let my right hand forget her cunning. Look at here, Psalms 137, verse 6. If I do not remember thee, basically Jerusalem, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. David said, you know what? If I forget about my native land, I'd rather go speechless. You see what I'm saying? Let my goddamn tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, basically to the top of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. So it's all about Jerusalem, the native land, because you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that's where you come from, man. That's the land of milk and honey. That's the chosen land, you know what I'm saying? Jerusalem, man, Palestine, Israel, you feel what I'm saying? So we never supposed to forget our land. No matter what some nigga come and try to tell you, we never supposed to forget our native land, man. And that's Daniel knew that, you know what I'm saying? even though he was in the Babylonian captivity. Not to spend so much time on Daniel 6 and 10, but let's progress on. Daniel 6 and 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. See what I'm saying? Because Daniel was fearless, you know what I'm saying? Because another precept I want to show you, because Daniel didn't put man before God. This is Acts 5 and 29. I'll show you another one. Acts 5 and 29. He didn't put man before God. He didn't put governmental laws before the laws of the Most High. This is a precept, Acts 5 and 29. Hope you guys can see it. It said, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than man. And see, Daniel could have easily submitted to the Babylonian decree. You know what I'm saying? He could have easily submitted to that Babylonian order, the policies that was put into effect. But Daniel said that he rather obey God than man. See what I'm saying? And that's, you got to put, it has to be faith over fear, man. No matter what some damn heathen king trying to make you do in honor towards him, you should always put the Most High before any nigga on this earth, man. And that's what Daniel did. You feel me? And so let's continue on. Daniel 6 and 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. See what I'm saying? He was getting that QT in for the Most High. Daniel 6 and 12. Then they came near and spake before the king. So they went back and told King Darius concerning the king's decree. Have you not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within these 30 days, except you, O king, shall be cast in the lion's den? The king answered and said, most certainly this thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alter it not. So you can see right here in Daniel 6 and 12, that was according to the law of the Medes and the Persians. Daniel was like, man, forget that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not submitting myself to the laws of the Medes and the Persians. That's their policy. I'm going to trust in my God. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I'm not telling you guys in this system that we live in today to go against governmental law. You understand? I'm not telling you guys that. But when it comes down to God, we must render what's to God's. And when it comes down to governmental, activities, we got to render to Caesar's what's Caesar's. And then we render to God what's God. So especially if this thing is spiritual, if the heathens try to make some type of law that intervenes with your spirituality in terms of the Most High, then you're not supposed to go along with that, man. You're supposed to hold your integrity in the God of Israel, even if it caused you death. So Daniel was like, fuck the law of the Medes and the Persians. I'm not listening to that. See what I'm saying? Daniel 6 and 13, man. Daniel 6 and 13. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity, see that he was a slave in the Babylonian Empire. And Daniel knew that he was a slave that was under the subjectivity of the Babylonians. A lot of you niggas don't even know that you are a slave. Like Harriet Tubman said. Harriet Tubman. She said, I could have freed many slaves, you know what I'm saying? Then the slaves I freed only if they knew they were slaves. You see what I'm saying? A lot of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't know that they are the children of the captivity in this land of bondage, America, the United States. Should I say the United States? So Daniel knew that, look, man, I'm an Israelite that's under Babylonian captivity. And he knew what tribe and what nation he came from. A lot of you Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you can't even see to it. See what I'm saying? So Daniel, which are the children of the captivity of Judah, regarded not thee. Basically, he ain't listening to you, King Darius. And so they said, O king, nor he listened to the decree that thou hast signed, but he makes his petition 3 times a day, and he refused to listen to you, but he want to keep praying to this God of Israel, basically. So Daniel 6 and 14, then the king, when he heard these words, he was sore displeased with himself, and he set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored to the going down of the sun to deliver him. So the king, he didn't really like this when he found out that it was Daniel that they was talking about, because Daniel had found favor with King Darius, man. And King Darius hated the fact that he signed a decree, because when he found out the decree was against Daniel, you know what I'm saying, it hurt him to his heart. So he really couldn't get any sleep. So he labored to the going down of the sun to deliver him. Daniel 6 and 15. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Now, O King Darius, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. So they were telling him, you sign this law into effect, don't think about changing it. Daniel 6 and 16. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the lion's den. Why in the hell Daniel was cast into the lion's den? Daniel was cast into the lion's den because he did not obey the laws according to the Medes and the Persians. You know what I'm saying? He hold his integrity and his God and prayed to his God. That's why he was cast into the lion's den. So they cast Daniel in the lion's den, not for a bad deed. He was cast in the pit of the lions for a good deed. You know what I'm saying? So now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Your God whom thou serves continually, he will deliver thee. So King Darius said, let's just hope the God that you praying to, which is the God of Israel, he deliver you from these lions, from the teeth of these lions. Daniel 6 and 17. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den. So they throw Daniel down into the pit, and then they overlaid a stone over the hole. The cavity of the pit, they overlaid a gigantic stone, leads Daniel to try to crawl out. And the king sealed it with his signet and with the signet of his laws, that the proposed might not be changed concerning Daniel. So he couldn't change that law once he signed it, the Babylonian law. Daniel 6 and 18, then the king went to his place and passed that night fasting. So he was like looking out for Daniel too, you know what I'm saying? Neither were instruments or music brought before him. And his sleep went from him, so he couldn't sleep that night, knowing that Daniel was in that pit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't sleep, man. I need to see if Daniel's all right. You know what I'm saying? So he lost sleep that night concerning Daniel. Daniel 6 and 19. Then the king arose very early in the morning. So when he woke up, he jumped up and he ran to the lion's den to see if Daniel was devoured. Daniel 6 and 20. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice, basically mourning, crying. So he cried with a lamentable voice. And it took Daniel, he was like, Daniel, Daniel, Daniel. He was crying out because he thought something tragically had happened to him. And the king spake and said unto Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, thy God whom thou servest continually is able to deliver thee from the lions. Daniel 6 and 21. Then Daniel said to the king, which was Darius, he said, O king, live forever. Daniel 6 and 22, my God has sent an angel and has shut the lions' mouths, that they may not hurt me. So you can see right there, man, power was resting on Daniel's side. Grace, you know what I'm saying? Mercy, compassion, sympathy, all that good stuff was on Daniel's side because Daniel was very devoted to the Most High. So he saw to it that Daniel was not hurt by these lions. He sent an angel to shut the teeth, to shut the mouth, so they wouldn't devour Daniel. He goes on to say, for as much as before him innocency was found in me. So basically, man, when innocency is found in you, you can rest assured that the Most High is going to be your refuge. You know what I'm saying? He will be your strength and he will be your tower. He will be your rock in the midst of the storm. You see what I'm saying? When the wind blowing, the Most High will be that foundation. You get what I'm saying? Only if you submit yourself wholeheartedly to the Most High like Daniel. You got to be innocent, you know what I'm saying, and keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, I know we can't keep all the laws, but we should try to the best of our ability to be innocent like Daniel. So when some hell do happen to you, some shit do hit the fan, the Most High, he'll show favor to you. And that's what happened to Daniel because he was innocent. He wasn't a wicked ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? He was found innocent. And so the Most High worked in Daniel's favor by keeping him out of harm's way. And also before thee, O king, he said, have I done no hurt? So that's how we want to be found, man. Daniel 6 and 23. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the lion's den. So Daniel was taken out of the pit, and no manner of hurt was found upon him because he believed in his God. So that's a great thing, man, to believe in the God of Israel and not submit yourself to these other strange satanic gods out here. You know what I'm saying? You got to trust in the Most High. Even when the odds are stacked against you, you must trust in the God of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? Even if he don't work in your favor, you still must trust in him, because you shouldn't praise God just because you're looking for him to save your ass. But you should praise the Most High and give honor to him, because that's what you should do as of a man, as of a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's just the right thing. You see what I'm saying? Even if he don't deliver you. See? So Daniel was taken out the den. No manner of hurt was found upon him. Like the lions didn't even maul him. No teeth scars, none of that. The lions didn't claw him out. You know what I'm saying? No scars, none of that. When they pulled Daniel out, Daniel was found with no scars upon him. Because why? He believed in the God of Israel, Yahweh, man. Daniel 6:24. And the king commanded that they brought those men which had accused Daniel. So the niggas that tried to falsely accuse Daniel, that what they did, they brought up a false accusation against Daniel. They brought these men out who had accused Daniel of doing such wrong. And guess what happened to the niggas? They cast them into the lion's den. So man, that's not a good thing, man. If you know a person that's righteous and you just trying to evilly plot against a righteous person, you know what I'm saying? This person is found with no error within him, but you don't like him, so you try to bring up some type of wickedness against him to have him overthrown. It can backfire, man. Just like you see right here, these Babylonian guys that try to do Daniel like that, it backfired on them. So guess what? The same damn pit that they planned on throwing Daniel in, they was cast into the lion's den. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Them and their children and their wives, their whole goddamn family got killed by these lions, man, for trying to bring up false sayings against a righteous man. And the lions had the mastery of them. What does that mean when they say had the mastery over them? The angel, the Most High, the angel of the Most High gave the angel power so these lions can subdue them and kill them, man. And they break all their bones in pieces or ever they came at the bottom of the den. So before they even reached the bottom of the den, these lions was gnawing down on them, breaking their bones. You know what I'm saying? Ah! See what I'm saying? Chopping down on them. See what I'm saying? So, man, it don't pay to try to overthrow a righteous man. See what I'm saying? Save your money, guys. Daniel 6:25. Then King Darius wrote unto all the people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. Daniel 6:26. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom, men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. See, that was the God of Israel, because Daniel was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. For he is the living God and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even until the end. All right, and then it goes on. We almost finished with it. Daniel 6:27. And he delivered and rescued, and he worketh signs and wonders in heavens and the earth, who had delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So that's what's so marvelous about this story, man. Because what type of guy on this earth have you ever known to be saved from some savage lions? You see what I'm saying? You got a pack of lions that's about to tear you in half, but yet instead, they don't do anything. What person do you know on this earth have ever underwent some circumstance or situation? Only but one person. The Bible says that was Daniel. See what I'm saying? So God, this also shows you, this story also shows you that God can do whatever so he pleases. You know what I'm saying? Just like when Jonah was running away, when Jonah, the prophet Jonah, he was running away from the Most High, and the Most High did what? He opened the mouth of the whale to allow that whale to swallow Jonah. Man, it was the power of the Lord that opened those jaws of the whale, just like it was the power of the Lord that shut the jaws of the lions. You see what I'm saying? He kept Daniel out of harm's way because Daniel was obedient to it. Daniel 6:28. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and all the reign of Cyrus the Persian. So that's the story of Daniel in the lion's pit. God sent his angel, man, to shut the mouths of the lions so they did not hurt Daniel. And so he saved Daniel from being eaten by the lions. And he can save you as well from any situation or circumstance. Only if you put your trust in him, be devoted to him, and try to keep the law, statutes, and commandments as an Israelite to the best of your ability. Guys, appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Please share the video once again. Please share the video. Subscribe to my channel if you will. If you don't want to, that's fine. Until next lesson, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites. And to you, I say shalom.